there was a show called The Know-It-Alls, and it was on radio.
You just have to be listening to the radio.
And we listen to the radio, and they have a trivia question. You call in the answer, right? And the question was, what was the Drew Carey Show's first theme song? And so Drew calls in. Drew calls in, says, "Hi, it's Drew," and he goes, and it was Moon Over Parma. They said, "Nope, wrong." and they hung up on him, and we're going like, "What the hell? What the hell?
I know a guy."
That was me.
Moon over Parma tonight.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Drew Carey Look Back Show. I'm Diedrich Bader. I played Oswald Lee Harvey on the show. This is Drew Carey.
I played Drew Carey.
He played Drew Carey. And Bruce Helford, who was the co-creator of the show.
I just played.
And we are sponsored by our friends here at Buzz Beer. Remember, if you're tired, Buzz Beer will help out. A special shout out to Karen in accounting at Buzz Beer Corporation. Hope your operation goes well.
Yeah.
There's the old expression, jumping the shark. I've always said, like, we were the shark.
Here's the thing. My dad raised me a certain way in the retail business.
Yeah.
We had a pet shop.
Yeah.
And we had tropical fish.
Yeah.
And my dad, and business was not good.
Some of Bruce's best stories are his pet shop.
I worked in pet shops all my life.
Yeah.
And we had tropical fish and tropical fish section.
Yeah.
And my dad said, we need to do something to bring people in the store.
Yeah.
We're going to sell all of our tropical fish 5 cents a piece. I go, what? 5 cents a piece, limit $1 a person. Okay. These were like, it's like the cheapest fish was $2.
I was about to say, you're losing money.
Losing money like crazy.
Yeah.
So we were at a shopping mall
Volume.
Volume. That's another joke. So we were at a shopping mall in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
There's lines around the mall waiting to get their nickel fish. And people as the people are buying nickel fish, they look at there's puppies, there's cats, there's whatever. People are buying a puppy for $1,000. They're buying aquariums. They don't even have an aquarium. The fish are this cheap. I can buy an aquarium to put them in. Yeah. So it was phenomenal. So what I learned was a little bit of P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
And in both of us, honestly.
Oh yeah.
And so I was always like, how do we keep people from getting stale, or how do we keep it from being stagnant?
About the show,
what's gonna really make us pop? And there were specific times, sweeps. If we had a particularly tough contender, there was one time a show was put up against us.
Brotherhood of Man is when we did that dance number. That's when we did Brotherhood of Man. Where it was like everybody 18 to 49.
That was just a cold open. That wasn't even a music number.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Was it called the same show?
Sorry,
same
Bruce.
show.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, we were opposite Third Rock from the Sun, and we were worried about it.
They moved it from Sunday to Wednesday against us, and I had a whole chalkboard in my office of shows that we took down. I was very proud of that.
Yeah.
And they say put them up at men behaving badly. Gone.
Yeah.
So I would just check them off on the board, and they but that was a good show, Third Rock.
Yeah,
they put it up
it
against us, and so we came up with an opening where aliens invade Winford Louder.
Oh, that's right.
And so people were transforming into aliens. The technology wasn't really great, but it looked pretty good for the time.
Yeah.
And at one point, Drew says, "Everybody 18 to 49, follow me," which is a demographic that everybody wants to have for a TV show. And that was their premiere. We blunted them, and after about 4 episodes, they went back to Sunday and came off Wednesday. I was very proud of that. The first show to ever beat us was Bernie Mac, and I went up to Bernie at the Golden Globes, and I said, "Thank God it was you, because it's really good, and I don't mind."
Yeah.
The dance number, Bruce and I, because we'd already driven to Cleveland.
Wait, but that's the second season, right?
Right. So we just decided that we were going to take a driving trip.
We got there late.
We would rent a car and take turns driving and listen to the radio. I love road trips. He loves road trips.
We one stop along the way and picked up a bunch of, like, at the truck stop, a bunch of comedy tapes, and we'd listen to them. And if it was bad, we'd throw it out the window.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we listened to. I remember there was a trivia guy on the radio, and I called him.
Oh, this was crazy. This was about the Drew Carey Show. So there was a show called The Know-It-Alls, and it was on radio.
You just have to be listening to the radio.
And we listen to the radio, and they have a trivia question. You call in the answer, right? And the question was, what was the Drew Carey Show's first theme song? And so Drew calls in. Drew calls in, says, "Hi, it's Drew," and he goes, and it was Moon Over Parma. They said, "Nope, wrong." and they hung up on him, and we're going like, "What the hell? What the hell?
I know a guy."
That was me.
It was amazing.
I called.
So
we were like driving across country, and we just got picked up, and John
This is for the second season.
Yeah, John Campanera and I, we were talking about what to do and second season, blah, blah, blah. We'd always talk about the show, what went wrong, what went right, what we could do, big like themes of the show, arcs. And John Campanera and I, when I was on The Good Life, we were going to do a scene, and it was me or Campanera. Like, wouldn't it be funny if this was a dance number and we shot it from overhead like Busby Berkeley, and we just had a bunch of people come out? We were just laughing how stupid it would be. And we half pitched it to the showrunner, and they were like, "Why don't you settle down?" You know, I think that hand motion came into what we were there like, yeah. But we were like, that'd be so funny. Like outlandish.
Yeah.
Like we would never, it wasn't a serious pitch.
Right,
but we were
fun,
thinking about how funny it would be just to take over and have this thing. And I told Bruce about that in the car. And I remember me and Campanera had this idea of doing a dance number in the thing. We were like, we could do a dance number in the show.
I think what generated the conversation
we thought about it in the car.
The song 5 O'Clock World played on the radio, and I said, if you listen to the lyrics, that's actually about our show. It's about you and Katie Silverstone, about waiting to see my girl at the end of the day, and I hate my job. So I knew Drew could dance because I said, when we went to a party or something we did, we went somewhere and you were dancing. Because I knew Drew could dance really well.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have attempted it. No, you could. And I was.
No, you really moved well. It was like Jackie Gleason. Yeah. That's a compliment. Jackie Gleason could really move. I'm saying.
Yeah, he could.
We decided to do this dance number as an opening number to the show.
Yeah.
It would just be something exciting and something different and everything else.
Yeah.
And after they received the tape of the show, after we completed editing it, Ted Harbor called me and said, "That is why we do TV."
Wow.
And he was like so excited that they made us do many, many more. So
they made us do another one that season.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to do it, but they
What
made
was
us
the second one that we did?
the New York one.
I remember going to New York. Like we had an episode.
No, it
where
was
we
the
went
New
to
York episode. We had the guy from NYPD Blue. Bruce wanted us to have Donald Trump on the show, and I was like, why do we have to have fucking not that guy of all the people to have? Even then, I was like, what the fuck?
We also had Carol Channing now talk badly about her.
Carol Channing.
And Bruce was like, no, he represents New York to a lot of people. And I remember half the writers were like, oh, Jesus Christ. And he was only he was only on Domino's commercials back then.
Guy,
That's what was his Domino's commercials.
I mean, you know.
But what was the dance? I don't remember the dance number in New York.
It was
wasn't a dance
Shake
number.
Your Groove thing.
No, that was no.
That's
that
was the Rocky Horror
Picture Show.
mashup.
That was the second one. I think it was Rocky Horror.
The second one was Rocky Horror.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, here's the
I
thing.
knew this whole thing was going to be old men arguing about what happened.
I remember. I'm telling you. No, but that was what you guys. That was you
so.
Guys.
That was the first musical number was 5 O'Clock World.
5 O'Clock World.
And then because let's do a general.
Oh no,
overview.
wait. I think we did What Is Hip first.
No, 5 O'Clock World was
5
first.
O'Clock World.
5 o'clock. No, I mean, I'm saying after 5 O'Clock World. I think it was What Is Hip.
I'm sorry.
It was What Is Hip, and
I
then,
think that's right.
And then Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
What Is Hip was great.
Yeah,
and then
that was cool.
Drew turned me on to Tower Power and all that stuff. So,
Yeah,
and
me too.
I started hearing that music, and I go, that's like a dance number.
Well, there was a band.
Vegas band.
There was
right?
a band, Lon Bronson band.
Lon Bronson
band in Vegas would always play at the Riviera. Hi, Lon. And he would always play there. And when we got the show, I asked Diedrich, I go, hey, I didn't know him. I go, you want to go to Vegas and hang out and get to know each other?
Yeah.
So we took a road trip to Vegas, and we went to see the Lon Bronson band at the Riviera.
That's right.
Drew's persona is the Marine Reserve, the glasses and all those things. But Drew's a very hip guy. So we thought What Is Hip was a great way to explore, like, what is hip? What really is it?
Well, this band would play What Is Hip all the time. They were a horn band, and they would close every show with What Is Hip.
Yeah, super tight.
Super tight.
Yeah.
And
really good.
that was one of my favorite songs, even when Tower Power did it. And then I became friends with the guys in the band because they played What Is Hip. So that was like one of the reasons we picked that song.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we covered generations and we had all these incredible guests, and it was What Is Hip. We had Flip Wilson, we had Dick Clark, because they were hip at everybody at different times.
Yeah.
And
I was so happy to meet Flip Wilson. I can't.
Flip Wilson was
cool.
like that was the one time I saw
very
you really nerd out on a guest.
He was very cool.
Because we had the HR Puffin stuff characters.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that.
We had them.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, that's right. We had it was amazing. The guest stars we had over the course of time. Well, I'm sure we'll get to all of them. unbelievably lucky these people wanted to be part of our game.
Oh, yeah.
And having them come in and just be wonderful to work with and everything else.
Whose idea was it to do the What's Wrong with This episode?
That's me. That comes from comic books. The Superman comic books used to do a thing. They had an April Fool's issue, and they would have a contest. You could see how many things were wrong, like Superman's S would be backwards, or he'd call Perry White Joe, or whatever it would be. And I thought, what a great thing to put into the show. So we put 150 things that were wrong. And if you watch the episode, now they're obvious. I think they weren't at the time.
Yeah, a clock would change in the background from one time to another time and stuff like that.
Mr. Wick's door would say the devil instead of Mr. Wick, whatever it was. So, so we just don't make all these crazy. Drew would just reach his hand up and bring an arm down or whatever one time. And this is when I also that was the last time I was ever on TV. For one of the things that was wrong is when they were in the house, I put my head in through the window and looked in and then popped away out of nowhere. This wasn't reference to. And people wrote in the scary bald man. That's it. That was it. That was no more on TV.
And then you didn't go, I want more.
No, not at all. But
I could make a living as a scary bald man.
we had What's Wrong with This episode, the April Fool's thing.
Well, there's a guy, the scary bald man's in his show. If you know one of those guys.
Doesn't show up on any of the other
shows. Scary bald man.
Oh, yeah, he's playing the scary bald guy again.
Yeah.
So anyway,
trying to move on.
So anyways, and then the dance numbers and all that. There were things that didn't happen.
We just trying to get laughs, man.
Yeah, whatever felt good. We did the coma episode where Drew was in a coma and he meets all his famous people.
The dream sequences in the coma.
Yeah,
were
one of my
cool.
favorite jokes of all time. Drew's playing chess with Abe Lincoln.
Yeah,
and he says he mentions something that happened in like the late 1800s. He goes, "Oh, you wouldn't know that because you were shot." Yeah. And Lincoln goes, "I was shot?"
Well, you're never going to get this one.
Sir, I studied history by candlelight for 30 years.
All right, but still not going to get it.
Damn it, sir. Just ask me.
All right. Who shot you?
I was shot?
We did a live episode.
We also did the
live for each time zone.
Live for each time zone, which nobody does. We did it for all 4 time zones.
Yeah.
So basically, we did one
Nobody
show
does that.
for Denver and Albuquerque.
Yes.
Yeah. But what we also did, the cold open that this one Polish director had done a scene with layers of film.
That was Deb found that guy, right?
Yeah. And so it was it was a person entering a room. Yeah. And then going out of a room. Oh, right. And then the person would enter the room again and somebody else would do something, but they'd rerun that piece of original film so the person kept entering the room and leaving the room. And then another person would come in a window and go out a window. And then another person would walk through and they would add them all together.
Right.
And it was very difficult. They only did like a very simple version of it, like 5 layers. We did like 100 and some, I don't know how many layers of film. It was crazy. And we had
and nobody runs into each other. They just keep repeating
and
we have
to organize it on camera as we're shooting it with little things so we could see so that no one violated anyone else's space. So it never looked like anybody was. You couldn't tell it wasn't just really happening. Right. They all were doing these things. Somebody go under a desk, come out from under a desk, and all that. And it was the song was called I think it was Fleetwood Mac or Wheel Keeps Turning. But
Wheel Keeps Turning.
And I got a call from a famous director. I can't remember his name right in a moment. Who said, "How'd you do that?" I'll remember his name later on. Gus Van Zandt.
Oh, Gus Van Zandt.
Gus Van Zandt called and said, "How the hell did you do that?" I said, "It's a really long time."
It was wild to hear like different people that had watched the show that you'd never think. Like Stephen Frears is also Academy Award-winning director. Told me that he absolutely loved the show. I was like, you watched the show?
There was a whole different level to the show besides like the fun. There was a different level of kind of like, Drew is really big into technology and even simple things like getting the colored Mac laptops, desktops on the things. Yeah. That was all Drew. Drew said we look ridiculous having these old fashioned. We gotta have something,
We did though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they gave it to us for free.
All the computers in the office were live and connected by landlines.
So you could play games.
And during every lunch break, we would play Medal of Honor for like 2 seasons, right?
Oh, totally.
And we would get together. It would be an hour-long lunch break, and it would stretch on to an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, because we couldn't stop playing Medal of Honor. Yeah. And we got so good at it, and we heard that ER also played Medal of Honor, so we sent over some like jokey notes about like, hey, we challenge you to Medal of Honor. Yeah. And we set up this big tournament that we on like some weekend day, and we
went to the hospital.
Yeah,
hospital.
We made people try out for our team.
Yeah.
And, high scorers were on the team, and we marched over to ER, our little non-Emmy winning show, and they had Emmy award winning this and that. Yeah, all over the signs everywhere.
Yeah.
And we went to the ER set where the ER was.
Yeah.
And that's where they set up all the computers, and they had all PCs and we had all Macs.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been more different. And then they had a giant screen with a little sitting room that everybody could watch and eat.
I forgot about that.
And friends could go and watch and see the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we beat them 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And the first one they won, but they had mods on for all you gamers out there. And we were like, what the F is with these mods? And they were like, oh, didn't everybody always use mods? And we like, no, you got to shut those off.
Yeah.
And then we beat them the last 2.
I wondered. My memory was that we lost, but it was
We lost
only
the
because
first
of
one because they had mods
Yeah,
on.
Right, that's right.
And then we made them take the mods off, and then we beat them.
So obviously
it was
we were a
great.
much better show than ER.
That was
Yes,
one
of
of
course.
my
Yeah.
that was one of my
Anyway, we won.
highlights of my showbiz career.
So, but putting those Mac and Mac was happy to give us for free.
Yeah,
He
of
had
course.
all this beautiful color. A lot of the technology stuff. We did that one thing that we did a simulcast webcam and broadcast, and no one had ever done that before.
Wow.
And all of the major, like everybody, Cisco, Google, Microsoft, they all gave us bandwidth because they wanted to know. What year was that? Like 2000 or something? They all wanted to know whether original content would work on the internet. And so
How'd that work out?
So we did, yeah. So like you'd watch the show, and then if you'd watch the regular show,
Yeah.
and if you had your computer going, then you could go to the live stream
Yeah.
and see a whole different scene happen during the commercials. Like dogs would come out and eat all the food, or ghosts would come dancing through, all kind of crazy things.
I remember
and
that.
and so
Forgot
it
about
was.
that.
I got the idea from watching my kids do homework and watch TV at the same time, working on their computers. I said,
Now they have a
"Everybody-
term
people
for
can
that
do
when
this."
you watch like
Yeah,
two
people
things
can
at the
do
same
this,
time.
and Drew knew exactly what to do and how to do it. So that ended up being a really we crashed it. Even with all of that, we crashed it at 1.7 million people. It was bigger than Victoria's Secret at that point by far, and maybe like challenging Live Aid at that point. But it was really a big deal when we did it. And we also did a 3D episode, and you had to go to
did?
we did a 3D
7-Eleven.
episode, and you had to go to 7-Eleven and get your
3D glasses.
So you go to 7-Eleven, get your 3D glasses, and watch.
Don't you
the-
remember we had
No.
to throw balls at the camera and stuff like that?
Yeah, the panel
No,
ball.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do like throw stuff at the camera and do like whoa, like do these 3D
that's
things.
hilarious.
So we did
So I remember
3D.
that.
We did every gimmick that you could ever think of possibly doing.
Well, the great thing is that it's supposed to be funny. So
It
you
was
can
people
really go
loved
out
it.
there.
People would wake up. We talk about gathering your family to watch
Yeah.
TV.
Oh, yeah.
That show was a show where people gathered their family. I hear more people my daughter's age talk about how my day, we all used to sit around the TV and everybody would watch that show together,
Yeah.
as opposed to like watching their separate show they love, whatever that show they watched as a family.
I was a big fan of the game The Sims, and we had do our
This is
characters
crazy.
as the Sims one show, and because of that, they put me in a Sims game. So I was in the Sims party pack. So if you throw the best party, Drew Carey shows up at your party. The Sim Drew Carey, and I had to go in and
We
similar
sat down with the head of EA, who like to many people is like a god, and he comes in. I said we're going to do it. It was one of our shows where What's Wrong with This Episode. So there's one scene. It was just all the avatars. They were their avatars.
we were all going to
It
be
wasn't-
Sims with like
and
little
Sims
things over there.
characters.
Yeah.
And the guy was happy to, and Drew and he are going on and on about gaming and all that stuff. And he goes, yeah, sure, we'll do that. So we got that. We got them to do a thing. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
EA actually did that for us.
Brian and I used to make fun of you for playing Sims because it's reality, basically. And we were like, you could just step out and like, live your life.
Yeah.
So, Drew, at one point, like, we're on as you heard earlier, like, there's computers on everybody's. So he goes out to go to the bathroom or to his trailer or something like that. And Ryan turns to me and goes, let's kill him. Let's kill him all. And we killed his entire universe. And he got back from the bathroom.
Well,
He sat down and he goes, what the hell?
I don't remember that. It's really funny.
we used to have like Risk. There was a room of people playing Risk at the parties sometimes.
Yeah.
and everybody come in and play, and everybody come in and play Risk.
Board games at a rap party.
You know you're having a good time. Tell me about Cleveland Rocks. So how'd that happen?
The way the song happened was Ian Hunter wanted to do a show called England Rocks, and they wouldn't put it on his album or something. And then he decided, "Screw you! I'll make it about America."
There was he had a song called London Rocks.
London Rocks.
And yeah, I don't think they wanted. And then Kid Leo Hey guy, he's the one that hired me to be on Little Steven's Underground Garage on Sirius later on.
Yeah.
But Q Leo was the program director at WMMS in Cleveland.
Okay.
And he helped break a lot of bands, man, with this radio station. And he got Ian Hunter to record Cleveland Rocks because of that. Because he played a lot of Ian Hunter stuff, and it was a big station.
If you listen to the lyrics, you know, it was all about London kids.
Yeah.
He didn't change a thing.
Safety pins in their
just changed
noses
it to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And so we had this big hit record that MMS would play called Cleveland Rocks.
Yeah.
And Kid Leo would play it on his radio station every Friday. So he would play every Friday at 5 o'clock. He would start a show, and every kid in high school and college listened to Kid Leo on Fridays to kick off the weekend. And it was Cleveland Rocks, Friday on My Mind, and some Springsteen song, Born to Run, I think.
Okay.
And he would play like all three in a row in a certain order. And then we'd all like turn it on so we wouldn't miss it. We'd hear those three songs, and then the weekend would start.
Right.
It was like a ritual.
I love that.
So that's where Cleveland Rocks came from. Ian Hunter and Kid Leo.
Cool.
So we decided, let's go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And so we moved the entire company to Cleveland. And it was.
They used to spend money.
We were
Remember
like,
that?
I know. We were like the Beatles there. There were people literally on the rooftops yelling down to everybody.
Well, we had 1,000. We
watching
had a couple thousand people signed up to run down the street. That's where the crowd came from.
Wait. There's even a story behind that.
Yeah, I was about to say. There was a
radio.
story.
We didn't have enough people.
Because you and Dad
the radio station agreed to say, hey, if you can show up right now at the corner of wherever it was we were having the holding area for all the people, come on out. We need people to be in the new Drew Carey video.
Yeah.
And so 5,000 people show up like in an hour. And they didn't even enough. They had to bring in they had to bring in more porta potties. They couldn't even handle the crowd. And we had no idea what was going on. Just it was going to get big. And so the first time that we saw the people was when they come running down the street. Thousands of people running, and Drew and them run out into the street because they don't know. Supposedly they're just running out to get out of work. Work is out, and they get out of work, and they run on the street, and you see a look on Drew's face like, "Holy shit!"
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
And there's thousands of people running past him, and we kept the cameras going because in the video it stops, but there were so many people, they just kept cutting past camera, and we just had to keep running the camera while thousands of people kept running past camera.
There were so many thousands of people. It did feel like a Beatle. Like I was in a Beatle in one town. And I was really glad that I wasn't a Beatle anywhere else. Yeah. Because it's really intense. I remember coming down.
We were taking an escalator or stairs, something. There was people in the glass that saw us, like waiting to go waiting to go to the crowd scene.
Yeah.
And all started like screaming at us through the glass.
Screaming.
And people were camping out in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
And
I remember coming down in the hotel elevator. I was slightly hungover, and the elevator door opened, and the entire lobby just screamed at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, get back upstairs. This was really cool. I hope you guys had a good time. It was really fun for me. I think you guys might have had a good time.
It was great. Yeah.
It was fun to talk. We'd love to do some more. If you smash those likes, you watch it a ton of times, we'll come back and we'll talk more about the show. We'll really get into the nitty gritty. And remember, buy Buzz Beer.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, and thanks, Buzz Beer.